would you like switch songs based on audience reaction?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, a couple times we threw in a couple of covers to get, people dancing, and we want to keep it interesting for ourselves too, not just the audience, right? And if you just play the same thing over and over, you might grow tired of it. But yeah, we like to keep things more or less the same, but every once in a while, depending on the audience or,
like we work
or the night, we'll switch it up.
We work in like certain transitions between songs that we just know, you finish the song, go straight into that one. And that helps kind of keep things running smoothly, because you don't want to be stopping between every song and thinking about what you're doing. However, there are those points in the sets where we do have room to talk to the audience and whatever, then we might decide to play like two different tunes or whatever. But yeah, depends. Every night we have a different length of set too. It might be a half hour this night or an hour the next night, so we have to kind of keep changing things up.
I'll skip the next question because you haven't gone on this mega tour yet.
Mega tour.
That's what I call it.
Calling it that.
We're kind of in the middle. I mean, the whole thing is like a mega tour, because we just went out east all the way to Charlottetown and Halifax, and over the next week we're touring all around Ontario, and then we're at the end of that heading out west. So it's kind of like a big cross Canada thing. And we just were able to have. We had I think the last 2 weeks we've just been home for 2 weeks and we've been working and stuff. Because if we had gone touring for 2 months straight, we probably wouldn't be able to pay rent or anything. So we had to
Definitely not.
go to work at our jobs for a little bit. And yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I found after we were out east, we came back and it felt kind of weird not being driving in a van every day. And then
We totally lose track of time too.
Yeah.
All the days kind of just blur together, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna play a show now, and you just kind of, I don't know. It's a totally different way of living.
Entirely new routine.
Yeah, every single day is different.
You should
but
do a documentary.
yeah. Well, we kind of did. We had a tour blog.
Oh, cool.
And we posted videos and pictures and
Is it off your website?
it wasn't on
It was
MySpace.
on
The
our
East Coast
website.
tour blog is just was it
WordPress.
Balconies.wordpress.com.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then for the West Coast tour, who's sponsoring it?
That's gonna be on North by East West, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know the actual.
We don't know the link yet,
Well,
but
the
it'll be
wording
posted
later.
on.
Yeah.
It'll,
Yeah.
it'll be posted on our MySpace either way. So.
Yeah. The new one.
So quickly, so then so far, how have the audiences been like to your liking?
Great.
Really great.
Yeah.
People on the East Coast love to dance.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Everyone, we'd even have to ask people to come and dance.
Yeah,
They're
I
just-
mean, we found talking to people out east that like it seems like everybody plays music there, and everybody is like into going to concerts and stuff. So it was really cool to kind of be in an environment like that. I mean, we're used to being in cities where it's kind of like weird to be in a band in a way. I mean, especially like talking to people who have normal jobs. They say like, well, what do you do for work? Well, we play music, and we have day jobs that are, part-time and flexible, so that we can have time off whenever we need to go on tour. But I don't know, different ideas.
It would seem different that you're being musicians doing that, but in a city like LA, that's normal.
Right.
Or even Toronto. It's
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
And I guess it's more common like in our group of friends, obviously, because musicians will gravitate towards musicians, right? So in our group of friends, it's normal. But anytime I meet someone different, they're like, "So what do you do?"
Yeah.
I'm a musician.
Well, that's what I meant. Like when we
Yeah,
were in like Charlottetown or Halifax, like just anybody that we would run into, and like we were getting our oil changed, and the guy was like, "Oh, you guys play music? I play music too," and
Yeah.
we
Everyone
went.
plays music.
Yeah, we
It's
went
so
anywhere we
awesome.
would go. Whereas, like I find in a bigger city, most of the people that you meet from day to day are kind of, working in offices or doing things that are not like music. And so when they hear that you're in a band, it's kind of like, oh.
There's like a waitress too in Charlottetown who was like, "Oh, my son's a musician." It's like,
Yeah, people are really excited
Oh.
about music there, and I think I don't know. I mean, it's in a big city like Toronto. There are definitely a lot of people who are really excited about music, but then there's also a lot of people who are just don't even pay attention. So I mean people at work all the time who just think it's really weird that you'd be in a band or something.
So it's refreshing to have that.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I read your bios, and it said that you guys were originally classically trained, right?
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
Sort of. I mean,
Yeah.
I think. Well, I started playing
started
rock music, and then I went to university for classical music. So it was like,
Mhm.
you know, both. But I think
Classical guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I started excuse me, playing violin when I was 7, and for maybe 3 years before that I would bug my parents every single day. I want to play violin, I want to play violin, but they couldn't afford lessons or afford to get me a violin. And then they happened to get this secondhand violin for me, and then they enrolled me in lessons eventually, and I just kept doing it. And then I switched to viola. I went to Canterbury, the arts high school, and then Steve ended up playing violin, and then he switched to bass, and then I started songwriting. I taught myself how to play guitar once my parents moved out to the country and there wasn't really anything to do except play music. And then we started a band when we were 14 and kept going.